very much, Permanent Secretary, Mr. Osman Petty. I want to crave your leave to adopt the protocol, save to recognize the presence of the High Command of our police force, giving support to this important initiative and development, and of course to recognize our chaplain at the head table, our principal, Mr. Gums, and our Lieutenant Colonel, Anthony Comrie. And of course, I want to especially thank those teachers, parents, and guardians who have taken time to come out to be part of this important initiative. And I should recognize those of the business community and Her Honor, Donna Harris. I want, though, to ask that we give a special round of applause to all the young people who have come out this afternoon to be part of the launch, official launch, of the St. Paul's Explorers. Could we give all the young persons here a round of applause? The formation of youth groups in the communities of St. Kitts and Nevis is an official initiative of the Ministry of National Security. The formation of youth groups in communities of St. Kitts and Nevis is an official initiative of the Ministry of National Security. And it is part of the ministry's broader crime reduction and prevention strategy and our social intervention program, as we seek to channel the energies and interests of young people into more positive activities and associations. And you would have heard the principal before me speak to the need for appropriate programs to engage our young people, in particular after-school programs. We have so far 2 explorer groups, one called the Mulfield Explorers Club, which was the first one to get started, and that group has registered a membership of 150 members. Let's give that group a special round of applause. From country, we move to the outskirts of the city of Basseterre, and we established the Shadwell Explorers Group, and we want to give those who are from that group a round of applause in appreciation of their efforts. We have now come back to the rural parts of northeastern St. Kitts, and we want to establish a very strong and vibrant group here in St. Paul's. And we are counting on the leadership of the principals, the members of his PTA, the police, of course, and all interested individuals to help make this group strong. Let it be a model youth group in the community of St. Paul's. We can count on the experience of the principal of some 30 years as an educator, and I'm told most, if not all, of those 30 years was spent right here at St. Paul's. So we are counting on that grounding as a fertile ground upon which we can build a better community of St. Paul's. We want to thank the leadership of Inspector and commend the leadership of Inspector Rosemary Isles Joseph, who has been spearheading the build-out of these groups. The groups today embody young people from age 4 to 17 years. And the build-out of the program is being coordinated through the office of the Permanent Secretary, Mr. Osman Petty, in the Ministry of National Security. He is very keen and seeing the establishment of these groups attached and linked and supported by our security forces all over St. Kitts and Nevis. And so we will be very happy if by September we are not too optimistic in assuming we can showcase 1,000 young people as being part of the Explorers group. That would be a tremendous show of solidarity and support of young people mobilized in a positive way. I recall over 1 year ago, in a discussion with officials of the Regional Security System, RSS, reference was made to a report entitled Prevalence and Patterns of Troublesome Youth Groups in the Caribbean, Implications for Policy and Practice. This report provided data that suggests there was a presence of what has been described as troubled youth groups in St. Kitts and Nevis. The study has found that there is a higher perception of gangs in the communities in St. Kitts and Nevis compared to some other states which were part of the sample. And so we are concerned about this development, and all of us should be. One particular troubling finding was that the gang members were recruiting young people as young as 9 years of age. It means then that they have gone into our private schools, seeking, as it were, the souls which they want to devour and to destroy. Investigations by the police of recent criminal activities in the Federation over the last few days suggest that juveniles may be involved. The incidence of violence and drug use in our schools is a matter, therefore, of grave concern. It is therefore essential that all sectors of society become involved in activities that are designed to move our precious young children away from the influence of gangs and channel them into more meaningful and positive engagement. Let us not fool ourselves. The presence of gangs anywhere and everywhere is a danger, and we must uproot them with all the force we can muster, because there is no good, I repeat, no good that will come out of gang membership. And in the exercise of their rights and powers and responsibilities, the law enforcement has the fullest support of the government and the strongest possible support of the office of the Prime Minister in this regard. And that is why we have come here to talk to the young people and to talk to their parents and guardians, as we must talk to young people and their parents and guardians everywhere, to say that we will not allow a reckless few persons in our communities, in our country, to destroy the peace and progress which the majority of us prefer. We hope out of these youth groups, the young one shall lead the society to a better level. It struck me as the commander spoke. He made a very profound point about while we have to engage the at-risk, we also have to be careful about the descriptions and, as it were, the compartmentalization in terms of our young people, those at risk and those perhaps who are on a better path. The truth is, when one youth is at risk, all young people are at risk. When one young person in St. Paul's is at risk, every other young person is at risk. And that is why we have to have an all-of-society approach. That is why we have to go back again to the old adage, the old prescription that made sense way back then and still makes sense now. It takes a village. It takes a village. It takes the village to mold the child. So it will take all of St. Paul's to be committed to preserve the peace, the prosperity, the peaceful development of our young people for us to succeed. It takes a village, it takes an entire community to mold the child. You see, we see it expressed that only one bad student in a school, he or she can tarnish the reputation of all who are part of that school. That gives some substance to the thinking. When one child is at risk, all of us becomes at risk. Only one bad person to enter the school with a gun, and the consequence of that for all who are in the school become a bothersome one for all of us. So when we hear that children would go home to find a gun, to find a knife, to find a weapon, to deal with issues in the school, we have to take stock and appreciate again. It will take all of us to get it right. Who are the people in the community on which we will depend? We must be able to depend on people like the parents and guardians who must provide the protection, the care, and the safe environment. Almost everywhere, children is referenced in the Bible, and the chaplain Cumberbatch will bear me out. Children are deemed in biblical terms to be very special. They are described as blessings of the womb. It was a sign of favor when a woman way beyond childbirth was able to deliver. It was seen in the biblical context of a very special kind of delivery. And so we want to ensure that these children grow up to be blessings to our community. The community comprises of our pastors, like Pastor Cumberbatch as the Wesleyan, or Wesley Holiness Church, the priests and others who are here at the St. Paul's Anglican Church, who must help the young people with building their spiritual appetite, love for God and godliness, appreciation of the value of Sunday schools in their life, in helping them to have that strength, that anchoring. And we are relying again on the parents to get all these young people in the school into a Sunday school. And there are so many churches here and everywhere else, there is no excuse. And I would want to commend to the leadership of this school that at a very regular interval, the school as a group, as a collective, must take the young children and the teachers to worship together in one or all of the churches in the community. This is going to be critical if we want real transformation. There is no room for people to want to abstain from the powerful and redeeming influence of the church in our lives. Truth be told, in instances where there is no father And there is often no mother to, and no grandmother to mold, without the positive influence of our churches, of our Sunday schools, in the lives of our people. We are letting them become easy targets for the vagabonds in the gangs. In the community, we will find the police officers, and we have some excellent ones who are here, providing leadership for the Explorers Club. Let's give all the police who have volunteered to be part of this a big round of applause. We want equally to recognize the importance of the business community in our midst, and to recognize that through their resource provision, they can help us, help our schools to be safer places, to be better equipped, to provide the quality of education which is transformative in terms of its impact upon people. We want our schools not only to be a place where the young children come and frequent, but a center for learning and education for all in the community. So we would wish that parents would come and have classes here. We would wish that more people use the schools in a proactive way and help contribute to the better society which we need to build and to mold. In closing then, it is a pleasure for me to witness the expansion of the Explorers Group, a special initiative of the police of St. Kitts and Nevis and the national security in particular. We want, as it were, to save our young people. We want to make the appeal again that our schools must teach and help the young people to say no to drugs, even when that drugs is in their home. Now, it is very difficult when drugs are in the homes and on the streets in St. Paul's to inculcate and to say to the young people, say no to drugs. But you are trained in pedagogy. You are trained in the arts of conveying messages to our young people that help them to appreciate that they must say no to drugs, because their future would not be a good one unless they are able to do that. And equally from the PTA, the principals must make a big issue of this, because you know the street corners in St. Paul's where drugs are available. You know the areas in St. Paul's where guns are available. They are there. That is why when they do raids from time to time, they are found. And we have to deal with these realities and say to young people of St. Paul's and everywhere not to get caught up in these things. To say to your mother that you don't want anyone coming to your home who carries gun and who carries drugs. You have to lead in the household. And we hope that through the formation of this club, you find the courage to provide that leadership. Perhaps it is a bit of a burden, but through your involvement with the police, you will find a friend and to whom you can report and who will help you to deal with the challenging situations. Again, I want to say thanks to all who have come out, to all who have been a part. It is perhaps a difficult challenge for the country, but it is not a challenge that is beyond us. We can overcome. We can do the right thing because each of us has a conscience. The mother must have a conscience. The father must have a conscience. And the members of the society must live with their conscience. Final word. You see something wrong, say something. You know who has the guns in St. Paul's, say something. You know who has the jugs in St. Paul's say something. But it's not just for the students to say. The principal must say. The teachers must say. The cleaners must say. The priests must say. Because it takes an entire village to protect these young people from St. Paul's and the young people everywhere. May God bless the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, and may God bless our country.
Stay up to date with news, programs, and activities of the government with SKNIS. Like us on Facebook. Listen to us on SoundCloud. Follow us on Twitter. And watch our videos on YouTube. Connect with us today. SKNIS, St. Kitts and Nevis Information Service.